everybody. How are you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Welcome to CCA Live. Today we're talking about our topic for the rest of the month, which is "'Tis the Season for Trouble." And I don't know about you guys, but when it gets gross outside or it's a busy season like holidays, my dogs tend to get into more trouble. And we get more calls about trouble behaviors like chewing on things, pottying in the house, just being really busy and annoying, maybe getting in trouble with the other dogs in the home, and looking for opportunities to get themselves in trouble. So the goal with these CCA Lives is to, Monday through Friday till the end of the year, give you tips and tricks and answer any questions you have regarding troublesome behaviors. And we've talked about, how to be proactive with interactive toys. We've talked about management when it comes to counter surfing. And so today, our third installment, we're talking about an additional piece to counter surfing, which is teaching your dog what to do. And one of those things might be to teach them to go to place or mat or spot, whatever you want to call it. That doesn't really matter. You're just teaching the dog where they can be when you're preparing food, or where they can be when a guest comes to your door, or maybe when you're watching TV, you'd prefer them be in a different location. So what we're going to talk about today is teaching them to go to place or spot. And I appreciate the two folks, I think it was Rachel and Stephanie, who said that this has been a lifesaver for them, teaching their dog to go to a specific location versus being underfoot, or maybe just giving the dog a job, a place to go when they don't want them to be fussing. Curly, talking about fussing, he's annoyed with having to wait to play this game. So I want to show you some steps to get started yourself so that you can start this before you have us come help you or come to a class. Before I forget, make sure to like this video and share with anyone else that could benefit from teaching their dog not to jump on counters and what to do, like go to spot. So I've got my lovely assistant here, Curly. He's a 12-year-old rat terrier mix that likes to introduce himself. Here, bud. And he's fussy because he knows there's something going on, right? Now, even your 12-year-old dogs might get a little fussy. Okay, good job, bud. He is definitely my counter surfer. So even though he is short in stature, he is very big and he can get things off the counter. So I thought he'd be a great example. So let me show you what you're going to need to do this. Now, for some people, you might not want it as far away as we're going to do. He's got some skills with this, so I don't have to make it right next to me. But what you might want to do is, if you're preparing food here, maybe your spot is close, so you can easily deliver the food, right? And you might be thinking, gosh, she's going to feed him from the counter? Isn't that going to be counterintuitive? He's going to think like, oh, when she's at the counter, you get food from it. What we're actually teaching the dog is, when I'm at the counter, I need you to be at your spot, or I need you to be on this rug, or wherever you're going to have them, versus being right underfoot or trying to rob you while you're trying to prepare food. And so what I'm preparing today is I'm preparing some snacks for Norby because he's got a class later this evening, and I'm going to cut those up, but I'm going to use that opportunity to show you guys what I would do with Curly if I wanted him to go to a specific location. So what you're going to need is definitely some sort of reinforcement. It could be what you're preparing as long as it's safe for your dog. I'm using some cheese. You also will need a location, so that I prefer to be very specific. I want it to be different than, he's like, oh my goodness, she keeps talking. Not very patient, this one. I want it to be something different than what they're on now. So he's on a laminate flooring. I set up a rug over here for him. I'm going to go over there, kiddo. Good boy. I also want him to be comfortable. So I don't want to have him be on a mat that is uncomfortable, or a location that's uncomfortable. So let's say I had a tile over there. It might not be as comfortable for him if this is a duration style, which it would be if I'm preparing food. So if you don't want to use a rug, you can also use a dog bed. So I've got one handy here if I needed to send him to a dog bed. I know. And it could just be your carpet if you have, tile to carpet. Just something different than what they're currently on or what you're on. And what's great about this skill is it's transferable. So you could transfer it to a different object, a different location. I can use this for the front door if I needed to. So I've got a lot of options with this. So I've got my mat set up. You can still be decorative about it. You could make the mat face a different direction. Just do what works for you, but still be really clear to the dog what you're expecting. So what's going to happen here in a moment is I'm going to be here cutting up some cheese. I've got some cheese pre-cut because I know he needs instant gratification. Not super patient, even at 12. And I'm going to get him over there first, and I'm going to reward him for being there for a bit. And then I'm going to come back over here and continue to periodically go reinforce him for being on his location. I'm not going to add a word straight away for a new dog. I would for a dog who already has this skill, like go to spot, maybe wait, stay, and then I'm still going to reinforce them as needed. You don't need to reinforce them for eternity, just pay them what it costs them. So right now it's hard for him because he doesn't get worked a lot. The baby dogs get worked a lot, so he's going to need a lot more reinforcement. So let me show you, hopefully you can still hear me when I'm kind of across the room here. I'm going to get some cheese or whatever treats you have. It doesn't have to be as exciting as cheese. And I'm just going to walk over here, and when he gets on it, yep, I can say yes, I can click, I can just reward him. He's going to offer yes. And I don't really care what he does on here. He could tap dance for all I care. Good. As long as he knows getting on this rug equals something. Good boy. I apologize to your dogs who are listening to this, hearing him bark. Good boy. Good. And then if I come over here, he might follow me, right? This might be a rookie mistake, so I might actually have to move the rug closer. I'm not opposed to doing that. This is real life. So I might just wait and see if he goes over there. Because I have so many skills I could show you guys. I know, have you thought about going over there? Oh, where is it? Can you go to your spot? Oh, that's so smart. Look at you. Good boy. Right, but I'm only going to reward when he's on his mat. And ideally all 4 limbs are on the mat. Yes, good boy. Good. Good. Curly weight. Good. So if your dog has a weight, you can use it immediately. Good boy. Good job. Good. Weight. Good. So I really can't cut up my cheese right now because he's a little too high maintenance, which is totally fine. Wait. Because you have to meet the dog where they're at in that moment, right? Good job. We train for real life. Good job. So what I was going to say before we actually got started training is that, we made a mistake. So nothing happens if he gets off the mat. He just doesn't get anything. Is that he is too excited by this, and it's asking too much from him. Curly, ready? Spot. He said, well, I could go to this. It would be closer to the food source. So I do have a dog bed nearby. No, can you try? Where are you supposed to be? Good boy. He's going to do it begrudgingly, but he's going to do it, right? Good job, bud. Good. Good job. All right, so what he's telling me is it's a little too far. I'm asking for too much. Okay, so I'm going to free him. And I'm just going to take my rug. Maybe split the difference a bit so you guys can still see him. Good job, bud. Yes, good boy. Okay, and now I'm going to try to do a little work here. Good boy, Curly. And I could also just toss it to him if it's not going to excite him too much, right? So as long as I can get it close to the mat, I just want him to know that being on the mat, yep, is the best place to be. Good job, you caught it. Good job. And if he gets off, as long as he gets back on, he's going to understand that that's the only place that he gets reinforced is on that mat or bed, etc. I know. Waiting is not his strong suit, clearly. But that might be the case for your dog. So if that's the case for your dogs as well, make sure to give this a heart because your dogs also are not patient. Good boy. And this isn't something we really work on with him. You know, he's 12. We kind of let him get away with maybe more than we should. But that's fine now. So let's try something different with him. Here, go over there. Yeah. Yeah. Good boy. So I might try the bed on the mat. Maybe that's more comfortable for him. Yes, good boy. That's really nice. And food in general excites Curly, so it's more difficult sometimes for him to work with stinky cheese. Looks like he might have lost a piece, or he thinks he has. But don't do this when, you know, you're really busy and you are time crunched. I have time, So I can pause and work him. Set this up as a training scenario versus real life. So that maybe you're really cutting up, vegetables or something for the week. Good boy. And, it doesn't really matter how long it takes versus you're really trying to get dinner on the table. So what challenges do you guys have when it comes to your dogs in the kitchen? Are they counter surfing? Are they begging? Getting into the trash? I know. Trash is also something Curly likes to get into. My guys know when the cutting board comes out, it must be something to do with them. So notice on the dog bed, he's much more comfortable. He's willing to kind of hang out there a little bit longer. I know. Just easier for him. Where the younger dogs, it might be okay. I know. It's a hard life. We should have warned them that you're going to be barking, huh? I know. He says, I have so many more talents. Just sitting here is just not enough for me. All right, we cut up our cheese that we needed. I know, you did a great job, kiddo. Good job. I know, hopefully you don't have to use it all for you. We can still have some for Norby for his school. Good job. Oh, it's right here, bud. All right, so I'm going to check in with you guys. Yes, we do train for real life, Nancy. That's the only way that I can live is real life. There definitely are times that I think big picture, so we don't have just one dog, we have 4. Good job. So it would be lovely to have all of them go to a specific spot, but that's just not something I'm worried about right now. 3 of the 4, can you go spot? Good. 3 of the 4 can actually go to spot. The baby dog hasn't been trained to do that, but I have done this when they get really crazy around feeding time. Norby goes on to a stool, like an exercise stool, and Curly and Molly go into their dog beds here in the kitchen, and that's where they have to hang out while I prepare food, because food time used to be really chaotic, and they would just go bonkers jumping, and it's just not safe for them to get that wound up around food. They can redirect on each other. They can hurt themselves, so Curly's got some structural issues, and him jumping up and down, he's actually gotten a hip socket out of place at one point. We had to have that put back in. That's not super comfortable. So safety is really important, and it's not great for your floors either. So we want to make sure that we're teaching our dogs what to do. Good boy. Versus trying to ninja him over here and try to keep him in one spot that's not super safe in the kitchen or by a front door. I just want to teach the dog, hey, if you hang out in this dog bed or on this mat, good things come to you, so why would you go anywhere? It's breakfast in bed or a magic carpet ride, sometimes I call it. For him right now, it's like sniffing around to see if he can find it, which kind of keeps him quiet too. So what questions do you guys have about the seasonal trouble behaviors you guys might be facing yourself? Post them in the comments down below. If you're having issues and you'd want some one-on-one help, we do offer in-home private training for the Gwinnett County area and a little bit outside surrounding area like Hall County. We'd be happy to come out and help you and work with your one dog or multiple dogs on things like this. We also work with things that are more severe in nature, such as behavioral issues. Maybe your dogs don't like people coming to the house, or they react to dogs on leash. We also can help you with that. Pretty much the gamut of what you might experience, being proactive, making sure your puppy is set up for success, all the way to, oh my goodness, my dog is really having some severe behavioral issues. We want to make sure that we're setting you up for success, whether we're being preventative or being proactive to help your dog. So if you guys have any questions after this live feed is over, please post them in the comments down below. We will be going live every Monday through Friday through the end of the year, talking about trouble behaviors. Thank you for reminding me, Curly. I'm not going to feed him right after he barks at me, that's for sure. But you can tune in every day at 4 o'clock. Where are you supposed to be? That's right. Every day, 4 o'clock Eastern time. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about another impulse control topic that we can use this same setup. We'll use a different dog. We're going to do wait at the door, so we don't have dogs dashing out the door. We definitely don't want that. We want to make sure our dogs are safe this holiday season and throughout the year. We don't want them running out the door, but we tend to use maybe our front door more often or have people coming and going. So we want to make sure that we're preventing that and making sure that your dogs are safe. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And again, this is Paula Nowak from Canine Country Academy. Talk to you guys soon. And Curly, do you want to say bye? You want to wave to them? Oh, what a good boy. Bye, guys.